Hello, guys. Welcome to the Sawalha-Adderleys. My God, you turn your head for 1 second, and this incredible global playground spat just continues. If only it wasn't actually so serious, and that there weren't so many innocent lives beneath the exchange of not just missiles and the exchange of weaponry, but also in the exchange of expletives. We have the most astonishing clip. I'd like to thank Christopher Kundle for giving me a jab in the ribs and said, "Have you seen?" Only about, I think, 45 minutes ago. Literally just paused from editing, took a break, checking on ill daughter. Me and Nadia kind of put our heads together, and bam, I get a text saying, "Have you seen what Trump has said? Have you seen?" So I would recommend fully subscribing to this channel if you want to get these kind of little updates where you can come and share your own opinions and your own feelings and your own shock, your own dismay, your own disbelief at all of this. Now, in talking about this latest clip, and I'm about to show you the clip of Donald Trump losing his shit really to the mainstream media, or to the media standing just alongside Air Force One. None of this is to make light of what beneath this, to the side of this, the theatrics of this Iran-Israel conflict. There are many, many more people dying in Iran than there are in Israel due to the efficacy of the Israeli war machine. But also, of course, everything is distracting us from the constant horror, the atrocities that are going on in Gaza. Only this morning, 21 people killed seeking aid. Now, what makes this part of the story incredibly I mean, this is like a soap opera with comic aspects. Of course, we had the ceasefire announcement last night. We talked about what could be behind this. Is it sincere? Was it sincere? Does Netanyahu want to actually stop firing weapons? Does Iran? And they're just trying to reposition. So here we go. But here's the thinking, right? So the ceasefire announcement was made by Trump last night. He's after the Nobel Peace Prize. He gives Israel a 12-hour window of being able to basically shoot at Iran. So he says to Iran, "You stop firing for 12 hours," and then Israel, and we all thought, well, doesn't that mean Israel can basically have a wide open goal, and they can just shoot at goal and just wipe out more of Iran's kind of defenses? Israel this morning, as we said on Coffee Moaning, then declared that a missile has been fired and Iran have broken the ceasefire. So Israel have now gone on the attack with fighter jets in the air attacking Iran. So all of Donald Trump, slightly confused, slightly tilted in the favor of Israel's ceasefire plans, seem to be quite quickly falling apart this morning. We come off air at the point where we assume, okay, well, Israel, it's going to become a tit for tat situation. The ceasefire is fragile. Are we engaging in the same kind of bear trap ceasefire that the West has engaged in with Hamas, which is there's a ceasefire on the table, which is an unacceptable ceasefire, i.e. you give Israel a 12-hour extra window to fire at Iran. And then when Iran doesn't accept that, you can say, well, they didn't accept the ceasefire. Classic narcissistic negotiating approach. Israel carry on firing, carry on shooting. And we just now have to show you the clip. This benefits from being shown a few times. This is the clip of Donald Trump that right now is understandably and not surprisingly going viral. For those of you with sensitive hearts and sensitive souls, it's quite strong language. It's quite remarkable. Here we go.
That Iran violated the peace agreement, the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have Iran?
Let's just hear the end of that once more.
Rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. Well, we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Isn't it weird? As I just showed that clip to Nadia, there's that moment. It's what I call the Piers Morgan inflection point, which is when a gammon of a white man suddenly seems to sing vaguely from the same song sheet that so many of us who've been characterized as mad, bad, terrorist supporters, hate marchers, etc. We think, oh God, when will any of them actually use the language of what we're saying? And I just think that, you know, although obviously all the attention is on his incredibly informal expletive description, which, to be blunt, it was refreshing to hear. I mean, he's had a bad night's sleep. He's worried that his well-tailored, I mean, he probably spent an awful a lot of time writing his Truth Social post last night with someone. And you know, and he'd done the maths, and there was the 12 hours, and then he'd given it the name, the 12-day war, and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's not statesmanlike, but sometimes I think what you get a glimpse of there, yet again, is what people see in him, which is he tears the bullshit away. Now, whilst everyone's focusing on the fuck, you know, don't know what the fuck they're fighting for, or what, you know, it won't stop fucking fighting. Let's look at the front of what he said there, because what he said at the front there is incredibly revealing, and now it's been recorded. You can't escape it, and that's what's really important about this clip and about what he said. It's very hard to prove the intentions or intentionality of the Israeli government, because the propaganda machine slams you down and kind of jumps on top of you and wipes it out the way. You know, it's always self-defense, it's always justified self-defense, etc., etc. But let's just have another listen to the very front there, because what he says is, you know, in that first 12 hours, what you don't do. So, and I think there's an authenticity to the way he said it, that the 12-hour window that favored Israel at the front, the rest of the world knows what Israel's like. I mean, he shouldn't be surprised, but he named it. He said it. What you shouldn't do in the first hour is drop every fucking bomb, like bombs we've never seen before, on top of them. Let's just see that moment again.
Iran violated the peace agreement, the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on.
You do if you're Israel. We could have all told you that you'd have done that, that they'd have done that. That's exactly what you do when you're Israel. You take advantage of the little kind of favorable window of time, and you provoke. And we said last night when the Truth Social post landed, we said this morning, it's very hard to get on board with any idea that Benjamin Netanyahu wants this to stop. Do you get me? It just, you know, what came out of his mouth, and you could say that this is almost slightly his ADHD. You could almost say this is the informality. This is his lack of being a statesman. It tripped out of his mouth because he's fucking furious. And he's transactional. He's furious because he's not furious because this is wrong for Iran. He's not furious because this gets in the way or doesn't get in the way of his plan for Gaza, the Gaza Riviera. He's furious because they've both, and specifically Israel, have fucked up his plans to potentially, if not just win the Nobel Peace Prize, be able to run around and say in one fell swoop, look what I did. So I'm just going to give you a little bit more detail. So here's two more. These are the posts. So after that outburst alongside Air Force One, he also posted these on Truth Social. 26 minutes ago, he posted, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And in case people were worried that his fury, his unedited, unhidden fury on the tarmac or grass there was seen to be too critical of Israel, He then had to post straight after it once more, just to make clear, Iran will never rebuild their nuclear facilities. He's trying to kind of really slam home that he's kind of, I mean, he very much feels like the dad, isn't he? He's the dad that's come home, and the two kids, Iran and Israel, have been firing missiles again. And he kind of knows which one's the naughtiest one. He knows which one's the naughtiest of the two, but he has to mete out kind of equal punishment. So I think what you've got a little smidgen of, and this is what when I played it to Nadia 2 minutes ago, she's just with our daughters at the moment. When I played it to Nadia a minute ago, her sense of it was a relief that you hear just for a moment from someone like Trump, even if it's just for a fucking nanosecond, the same fucking frustration that everyone feels with the temperamental toddler that is Israel. I mean, I would imagine that behind the scenes, he's fucking furious with Netanyahu. What's interesting is he swore so after his swearing antics, apparently, here we go, 23 minutes ago, The Guardian is reporting that Donald Trump called Israel's prime minister and asked him, Netanyahu, not to attack Iran, citing an Israeli official, Reuters reports. Netanyahu apparently said to Trump he was unable to cancel the attack, and that it was needed because Iran violated the ceasefire. And you saw there that Donald Trump was inferring that whatever that rogue missile that made Israel Katz, the defense minister who loves Israel so much, he's named himself twice, he was so overzealous. Talk about zealous. What was it? Bellicose. I love that word. The zealotry. Let's fire. Let's defend ourselves. Quick. Someone's knocked a fence over and a goat's running. It's Iran. Oh my God. Get a grip, Israel. Get a grip. You've just tentatively entered it, and you've just dropped an enormous payload on the Iranians. So Trump gets on the blower to Netanyahu, and then Netanyahu says no, but says the attack will be significantly scaled back and we won't hit a large number of targets, but strike one target, according to the report. Will that be enough for Iran? Will Iran smell or sense or hear, even in Trump's expletives, a frustration with Israel? Who wouldn't be frustrated with Israel? But do you want to know what Starmer's said? Breaking news, guys. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said this: I want the ceasefire to continue, and therefore, obviously, the sooner we get back to that, the better. Sorry, Keir. Did someone say, oh no, sorry, there's someone in the back room tied up in a latex suit with a GIMP mask on. What was that? Oh, it's Keir. Oh, the Prime Minister of the UK. I want the ceasefire to continue, and therefore, obviously, the sooner we get back to that, the better. What? Starmer the schmarmer. I mean, the sorry image of Keir Starmer picking up the so-called trade agreement is the image we will all have forever and a day of our gimpy little Prime Minister. So the reason we've gone live is, and the reason we have gone live, and the reason I'm going to show you the clip in a gratuitous third attempt. Thank you again, Christopher Cundall, for just drawing out.
Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have a response to Iran?
I don't know why. I don't think I will ever tire of that clip. I think he has single-handedly, Donald Trump, delivered for me one of his greatest moments of his presidency, because what you get at the front there is his sort of very immediately off the cuff intolerance and frustration with Israel, it gives you just some sense that behind the scenes, they know they're dealing with an unrestrainable teenager. And meanwhile, I mean, it's an embarrassment, isn't it? Our leadership and our prime minister, the way he just fritters around at the edge like a fluffer. He's just like a fluffer, just kind of, oh, what can I do for you? Oh, what can I do for you? It's just an excruciatingly embarrassing image. It's just lovely also to see headlines like in the Telegraph: Trump, Israel and Iran don't know what the F dash 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 they're doing. Just 9 minutes ago, Iran says Israel have violated the ceasefire with a strike on Balbasor. An explosion was heard in the northern Iranian city of Balbasor, and rescue vehicles and ambulances are rushing towards the site. Bab Bolsar is located in the Mazandaran province along Iran's Caspian Sea. Iran accused Israel of violating the ceasefire after Iranian media described as a Zionist attack on an open area. More reports, 12:44, half an hour ago, 2 explosions being heard in northern Tehran. Local media reporting those explosions. So Israel had no I think what we were suggesting last night was exactly what's happened, which is this is a spurious ceasefire agreement. Of all the parties involved, it sounds like maybe Iran had one rogue missile that headed off to nowhere that even Trump dismissed as a non-starter. And with the slightest, or because Israel's so addicted to victimhood. As I say, if a goat crashed through the border fence if there was one between Israel and Iran, they fucking fire nukes at everyone. And this is the country that has nukes. This country, Netanyahu's, is the country that has nukes. Though still people come in here going, well, it's not really. We don't know. They have nuclear capabilities. They don't have nuclear war. Well, nuclear capabilities is infinitely more than everyone's been pissing and shitting their pants about Iran having. This is priceless. This is a priceless moment. It deserves to be played time and time again. I've uploaded it on my Instagram if you want to go and have a look and watch it again and again and again. And needless to say, we can ignore and not even pay attention to the dribbly words of our own leadership. I mean, we've got absolutely zero to contribute to this whatsoever. An absolute embarrassment. So what I'm just gonna read you what we've got here in terms of the Sun. Don's F-bomb. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, rages Trump as he blasts Iran and Israel for breaking an hour-long ceasefire. Brilliant stuff. If it wasn't so serious, really, beneath it all, there is just still the horror, and still Israel. I think if anything comes out of this, what even Donald Trump has proven to us is that Israel are not to be trusted. This constant fake pretend narrative that they are not only the chosen people, but they are the moral people, and that everything they do is just. What a load of old shit. And I'm going to play you out with one more moment of the very end of his chat.
Iran either, but I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
And on that note, I'm sure something else will happen later. Maybe Netanyahu is going to deliver some F-bombs, and it's just astonishing stuff. All right, guys, stay safe. We might see you later. So